Hello. Thanks for tuning in to a very special episode of V-Gaming. I wasn't planning to make this video. I wasn't even really going to talk about this. There's just a few things that are just bugging me about this whole thing. I don't know if I included this in another video, but I did mention I was going to talk about this, and here it is 10:45 at night, and I couldn't put it down anymore. This part in particular I've been thinking about all day. But if you're new to this channel, thanks for joining. This is the Saverings over here at V-Gaming. Be sure to follow us on the X and the Steam groups at V-Gaming. We're doing a giveaway over there at some point. But yeah, thanks for doing this. Now I have some things to get off my chest, and okay, this is gonna be something I noticed with the trailer, not in the trailer because I haven't watched it. Because to be frank, I'm sick of GTA 6 already. I'm sick of it. I wasn't really a fan of 5. I was even less of a fan of 4. To me personally, Rockstar hasn't been Rockstar since probably like Manhunt 2 or San Andreas or Max Payne 3. Those are probably like the most rock. Those are probably like the last most Rockstar games of Rockstar games. To find out like why I feel this way, a video I suggest you watch, and a channel I suggest you subscribe to. I don't know why my internet's going so slow. Is it down? I don't know what's going on with the internet. But I just have a feeling that things aren't going to turn out the way people think it's going to turn out for Grand Theft Auto 6. Don't get me wrong, it's going to sell like gangbusters. It's going to break some records. It's going to be its own thing. Like, don't get me wrong there. I'm not saying it's going to flop. I'm just saying there's so much hype surrounding this. I'm just saying there's so many other industries and so many industries within video games and cottage industries and mods and mod sites and news coverage for dying game journalism. All that kind of stuff is all relying so heavily on this thing. And if it falters at all, shareholders, we're not even getting into shareholders. If they predict this game's going to make $1 billion its first day, I'm just throwing a number out. If they say it's going to make $1 billion its first day, and it only makes $999,999,000, people are going to freak out. The other thing and that's going to just cause just weird ripple effects, and cause like weird media coverage and stuff. They're going to be saying weird stuff. My analogy for it is, here's a sports ball analogy. When LeBron James first went to the Heat, and that very first couple of weeks, they struggled. I think they started like 7-3, and people were questioning it, and you were seeing it in the media, and people were going, "What's wrong with the Heat? What's wrong with the Heat?" A friend of mine and I, still to this day, when people are questioning why something is struggling when they really have no patience to see, we look at each other and we go, "What's wrong with the Heat?" I have a feeling in this context, something like that's going to happen. Now, the Heat did go on and have like a 23 game win streak that later on that season, the second longest win streak in NBA history. So they ended up being fine. They ended up going to the finals. It was fine. But I have a feeling people are gonna. That's the kind of coverage you're gonna see. They're gonna be like, GTA only made 999,999,000. What's wrong with GTA? There's gonna be weird coverage like that. It's not gonna turn out the way you think. I think if that game is even 1% woke, I think if that game pulls any, even more deadly to me, I think if that game pulls any punches, games like GTA, shows like The Simpsons, shows like Family Guy, shows like South Park, they're known for picking on everyone. They don't really pull their punches, traditionally at least. The Simpsons, as far as I can tell, they've been pulling punches a little bit and playing it kind of safe, like over the last like whatever. Family Guy, they're still kind of out there with their humor. South Park to me has kind of pulled up on their humor. They used to be after everybody. The example I give would be the episode with Kathleen Kennedy, when Kathleen Kennedy and Cartman are sitting down and hashing it out at the end, and Kathleen Kennedy goes, maybe we were a little reckless, being the stewards of a thing that people loved, and maybe we were a little reckless and careless with that. And Cartman apologizes on the fan side, being like, well, maybe we were a little overzealous. And no. No. You bought Star Wars for those overzealous fans. It was a license to print money because you knew if you served those overzealous fans, you'd make money. So screw you, South Park, for being like, well, maybe the fans overreacted. No. Just no. It's always been like that in Star Wars. Even when the original trilogy that was all good, people still had nitpicks. People still argued over it. That was part of the joy of the fandom. And to sit here and say, well, maybe we were overzealous, that's what got Star Wars to where it was. That's what made Disney spend $5 billion on it, was that. So don't be pulling up South Park, and don't be pulling up either GTA. If GTA pulls their punches anywhere, it's going to be noticeable. So these are just a couple of things I see. But I haven't really watched the trailer, to be honest with you. I don't really watch movie or game trailers past. So usually here's the format. There's usually 4 videos. There's usually 4 trailers. There's the teaser trailer for something. And then there's full trailer number 1, full trailer 2, and full trailer 3. I usually don't watch anything past trailer number 1. Because once you get into 2 and 3, they run out of like teasery stuff and they start spoiling things. So I usually watch the trailer for something, which was the trailer that came out last year. I watched that a little bit. Okay, cool. And then I haven't watched this one because, to be honest with you, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm already sick of this game. I don't like the Euphoria engine. I don't like the format of the new game. What the heck? And my fans just going crazy. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I don't know what's going on with the internet. It says it's done. Anyway, but this is what made me pause when I thought about this earlier. So here we are on the page. So fucking weird. Here we are on the page. Objective: survive until 2016. Keep an eye on the view counter. Blah blah blah. It's been 84 years. 83 million views. 5 million likes. That's crazy. But anyway, here's the thing that jumped out to me. So I know in this trailer at some point they say captured on a PlayStation 5, right? Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? So when you click over here, and you click on quality, you guys notice anything over here? Right above my head? Are you guys noticing this right here? Are you guys noticing? Okay. What's missing from 720p up? What's missing? First of all, before to give you time to think about it, I have a little nitpick with YouTube. Hey YouTube, 720p is HD. By definition, it's HD. It's high definition. 720p is high definition. The first HD TVs, those old plasmas and those old really crappy LCDs back in like the mid 2000s, those were HD TVs. The ones that were like still 4x3. Those were HD TVs because they're 720p. Okay? Full HD is 1080p. 1440p is like a computer resolution. There's no 1440p TVs that don't really go by this. It's technically 2K, and your TVs do support it, but it's not a general format. You either buy things that are 720p in the mainstream. These are TVs and monitors. You either buy something that's 720p, 1080p, or 4K. 4K is what's called Ultra HD. So you have HD with no HD next to it. 1080p, which is full HD. And 4K, which is Ultra HD. So this should be UHD, FHD, and HD. And technically this is high definition, but it's like kind of its own thing. So I thought that was goofy. I didn't like that. But have you guys noticed what's missing here? There are no 60 FPS options for any of these. Meaning this gameplay capture footage was not captured at 60 FPS. If it was, they would have put it over here just to flex. They would have. But they couldn't because this was captured on PlayStation 5. That means this game is not running at 60 FPS at least at the time of this upload. Which this game should be running at 60 FPS. If it's ever going to run at 60 FPS, it should be running now. There's no way that they're planning to release this game this year and it's not running at least anywhere close to its target frame rate, which means that they showed this game and they displayed this game at 30 FPS. Now, that's not saying there's not a 60 FPS mode. I just find it really sus that there's no 60 FPS options, which means this game was not recorded and captured at 60 FPS, or at least not at a lock 60 FPS. Which is just crazy to me. Why, in the year of our Lord 2026, are we still dealing with 30 FPS? Imagine waiting 13 years at that point, right? Because didn't GTA, the first one, come out in 2012, right? Yeah, 2012? Oh my goodness, what is happening? So 2012 to 2026, that'll be 14 years. Imagine waiting 14 years and paying at least $100 for this game just to run it at 30 FPS. Just to run it at 30 FPS. Imagine this game running on the Switch 2 or the PS4, the Xbone. Because I have another theory as to why this game got delayed. This game will have a version that will be on the Xbone and will be on the PS4. There's no way that they can ignore that combined, what is that, like 170 million units? They sold 120 million units in counting of the PS4, and they sold, people are estimating about 50 to 60 million units of the Xbone and the One X and stuff. You don't want to leave that on the table. You'd also be silly not to have a Switch 2 version. And if the game's going to be delayed by 6 months, 8 months at that point, where's the PC version too? I have a feeling that it's going to drop. At the very least, it's going to drop on the PC as well as the current consoles. I would not be surprised to see a Switch 2 version, and I would not be surprised to see PlayStation 4 and Xbone versions as well. Maybe this was just a ruse for them to make sure that they launch it on everything so they don't lose that momentum moving into other platforms. Because of Concord reportedly cost $400 million and took 8 years. Imagine what GTA 6, in the works for, let's say, at least 10 years is costing Rockstar. Those estimates of $1 billion, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. So they're going to want all hands on deck, and they're going to want to sell it on as much crap as possible. Don't be surprised to see this on Game Pass too. Don't be surprised. I bet you they're talking to Microsoft right now to see what kind of bag they could get to help subsidize some of this development cost from Microsoft to put this on Game Pass day one. Because it's been proven Game Pass does not cannibalize sales. The Game Pass actually helps sales. Ask Expedition 33. Ask the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. Let's check out Doom next week. Let's see how well that sells. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it on basically everything current and the last gen and PC and Game Pass day one. Don't be surprised. So those are my predictions. That's my little nitpick. That's also my little passive-aggressive nitpick towards YouTube for not even knowing what the definition of HD is in their own settings. And there's no 60 FPS mode for this game, meaning it was not captured at 60 FPS. Or at least, they could have chose to upload it at 30, but if they could have uploaded it at 60, they would have. They would have. There's no way Rockstar would have ignored that. There's no way. There's no way Sony, if this game was running at 60, Sony would have insisted that they upload this game at 60 so they could be like, oh, it's running at 60 on the PlayStation 5. There's no way. So this game was simply not running at 60. Probably nowhere near. So just some things to look out for. Anyway, thanks for my unsolicited nitpicking and bitching. So those are my predictions, and this is also something that I kind of thought about as I didn't watch this video. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. Be sure to join me, like I said, on the X and on the Steam group at V-Gaming. Y'all have yourselves a nice evening. Talk to you later. Peace.